And again, we're off like a herd of thundering turtles for the second week. Welcome to the Ron Juckett Show. And this week I'm joined by old friend Chris Lacey. How are you, Chris?
I'm doing good, Ron. Thanks for having me on the show tonight.
Not a problem. I've got a dual monitor set up, and I have the chat in the other window, and just watch myself popped up. And remember that I did hit mute. So that's always a good sign. It's always interesting when different aspects of your life kind of interact with each other.
Yeah.
And I've had Ricky. We talked a little bit during the playoffs over the Red Sox Yankee series, and we're going to spend some time with Ricky at some point in the near future. But Chris was on the staff of District on Deck when I became Ricky's partner, and was with us, I think, the first year I was there. And
yeah, I was.
And it's interesting because I believe you live in New Jersey, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And so I'd like America to meet the chairman of the New Jersey chapter of the Arizona Diamondbacks fan club.
Yeah.
Something we couldn't talk about before because we were only supposed to be specific about the Nationals. And so, Chris, how does one grow up in New Jersey and become an Arizona Diamondbacks fan?
Well, when I was growing up, I just loved watching baseball, and I was looking for a team to root for. And then the day back, they just they caught my eye. I like the stadium. I like the way they played. So I just kind of gravitated towards them.
So 2001 was a real formative year for you.
Oh yeah, it was great. But the sad part is when they won the game, I didn't know about it because I had school the next day.
That's a Sunday night.
Yeah, so I didn't even know they even won until I got home, and then I turned on the TV. Yeah,
that Saturday night game when they just destroyed the Yankees.
I know. Yeah,
I mean, Game 6 of the 2001 World Series. It's the only time I've ever kind of rooted for the Yankees because it was New York. It was after 9/11.
Yeah,
and as an outside observer, you have Derek Jeter's magic on the 1st of November, and then the Yankees did it the next night. Yeah. And so, I've watched enough of these World Series to know that you're a dead team walking now. Little do we know, but the Yankees that were the dead team walking in that series. So have you been out to Chase?
No, I haven't actually not even seen the stadium yet. I do want to though.
And so you watch on the package. So you're always usually up late at night.
Yeah, I usually just watch it on my phone or on my computer. So yeah.
And so what? Besides the fact they're finally ripping out the grass there, I think you and I talked one of the Arizona series last year before I left District, and the grass there was just absolutely atrocious.
Yeah, it was horrible. Yeah.
What do you think of them actually having to go to the Tampa Bay route and actually put down some plastic?
I think it's good because I think it'll possibly help their infield defense because their defense in the infield this past season, it was kind of a hit or miss. So I think maybe changing the grass in the stadium will help them out defensively, and then hopefully it'll lead to a better 2019 season as opposed to 2018 when they missed the playoffs after actually leading in the beginning of every month. So it was kind of a sad way the season ended for them.
The Dodgers are the first team to be 10 games under 500 at any point in the season and make the World Series.
I know. It's weird.
It's what every Washington fan had hoped for. So speaking of the Nationals, how did you get involved in that?
The Nationals, they were kind of like my second favorite team to follow. Like ever since they drafted Strasburg and then Harper, I was kind of like always interested in them. I always followed them. I always followed the players. They were minor players as well. So then when I saw that on a fan side of that District on Deck had it open, and I just applied. And then I also knew Ricky because me and Ricky, we used to write for another site as well. So I kind of had it in since Ricky was the editor.
Yep. And Ricky, of course, also spent all that time doing the podcast for Yanks Go Yard as well, and some other sites that he's done. So what got you interested in writing? Go back. Was that the first place that you wrote with Ricky? Was that your first place that you wrote for? Did you write for anything else? I mean, what?
No, actually, when I got out of college, I was looking for something to do. And then I saw this site called MLBReports.com. They were just looking for someone to just write about baseball. And I had actually never written anything ever for like a site, and then I figured I would just try it out. So I did a couple of player profiles for Arizona, because actually that site, they were actually looking for a contributor for the for Arizona. So I did a couple player profiles on outfielder Jason Kubel, and
Mm-hmm.
then some other players. So then it just kind of grew. Then when I got more experience, and then that's when I applied to Fansided.
It's interesting because our buddy Drew Douglas had never written before.
Oh wow!
Yeah. So and he took to it.
Yeah.
And you obviously have continued writing. No, you no longer write for Fansite, and so why don't you tell people what you're doing now for
Right
writing?
now, I write for ngscsports.com. We cover multiple sports. I cover the baseball part of the site. So every Monday, I have a news digest, and we do a podcast every Monday at 8 o'clock. Talk about the latest baseball news. We did a show tonight talking about the World Series, talking about the Reds hiring David Bell, and also the Angels hiring Brad Ausmus. So we covered that, and then we covered who we thought was going to win the World Series.
We'll get to the series in a minute. I was surprised that Osmus got another job. He was not that highly regarded after his time in
No,
Detroit was done.
I think the Angels are possibly going to do a rebuild with them anyway. So I really don't think it matters. I don't think it mattered who they hired, because the Angels right now, they don't have a good roster other than Mike Trout. So it's going to be a long season for the Angels anyway.
Yeah. And David Bell has ties to Cincinnati. His dad played there. In Ohio, Buddy Bell, for those of us who are older, played with the Indians and the Rangers and the Reds. His first managerial position, at least
Yeah,
at this point.
Yeah, I was actually kind of surprised the Reds hired him, because I know the Reds wanted them Girardi, but then when Girardi said no, I actually thought the Reds were going to stick with Jim Riggleman, because when the Reds fired Brian Price early in the season, the Reds, they were not playing well, they were horrible. But then when they made Riggleman the interim manager, they played extremely well. They were a much better team. So I figured that Riggleman was going to be the favorite. But once Girardi told the Reds no, I guess Bell was their second option.
Yeah, I'm surprised they didn't keep Riggleman either.
Yeah.
And I had a suspicion until St. Louis got good at the end of the year that Girardi was headed there.
Yeah. But the rumor is that Girardi, he's actually holding out hope that the Cubs may part ways with Madden. So if the Cubs fire Madden, and Girardi could be manager of the Cubs.
Now, Madden got them into the playoffs. They won the World Series. There should be some hangover, I would imagine, from that. Yeah. What are you seeing, hearing that would even suggest that Madden's job's in trouble?
Well, I think Madden wants an extension. So if he doesn't get paid his money, and I don't think he wants to be around for a possible rebuild. So it'll be interesting to see what the Cubs do on this offseason.
Do you think a certain right fielder from Washington could become involved?
That's possible, because Brian and Harper are best friends. So it'd be interesting if the Cubs could actually afford Harper, assuming the Nats don't pull out all the stops to bring him back.
What's your gut feeling on that, Chris?
I think if the Nats goes 10 years, 350, he stays. Yeah.
Wow.
I know. It's a lot of money.
That's a lot of money.
I know it is. Yeah,
that's a lot of money. I think that they still have a decent chance. But Philadelphia's got money.
They got money, yeah.
And the Dodgers, I think, would not turn him down, considering that he's from Las Vegas and that's just not that far. True. And he's good friends with Chris Bryant, as you talked about. I could see any one of those scenarios. And there's the Yankees, I suppose, are a dark horse, but I think with Aaron Judge, you're not going to do that. And they now have a bigger Machado fits better for the Yankees.
Yeah, but also I think for the Yankees, offense is not their problem. They need pitching. So I think the Yankees will sign, sadly, D-backs pitcher former DH pitcher, Patrick Corbin. I think that's
Yeah, that name I've seen kicked around quite a bit. You don't think that Sonny Gray is going to be the solution to the Yankees' problems next year?
No, actually, their GM. No, actually, their GM said that they are actually going to try to actually trade Gray this offseason anyway.
Yeah, it didn't work for Mr. Pickles.
Yeah, and also one interesting the Yankees could try to do if the Giants are willing to do it is try to acquire uh uh Bumgarner if he's available.
Now that would be interesting. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. All right, let's talk World Series.
Cool.
We have a situation here where both managers played for the other team at some point. Dave Roberts is a legend in Boston forever for what happened on a certain game in 2004. So, as a pinch runner. And Alex Cora played for a lot of different teams. I mean, if you had told me he played for the Dodgers, I would have said, "Oh, okay," but I don't remember that. Coming back to Red Sox Nation after a couple of years down in DC, I can't tell you how impressed I am with Alex Cora. And I don't understand how Dave Roberts could be in trouble.
I don't think he is. No way.
What's impressed you most about the managers coming into this World Series? Let's start there.
I guess for Cora, just the way he's push the right buttons. And I think some all goes back to the way he managed the team during the season. He did everything right. The lineup was good. The rotation was solid. He managed the bullpen fine, and then that's carried over into the postseason as well. And I think when he made that switch during the series with the Yankees, that actually made the difference. So I think Cora's done a good job, and then I think going over to the Dodgers side for Roberts, I think the way he's managed the bullpen, and at times that can be a problem for our managers in the postseason. But I think he's done a great job in just knowing when to take out his starters, as opposed to last year in the World Series with Darvish, he left him in way too long.
No, Darvish just was, as a mutual friend of ours says, huge garbage. Didn't help that he was tipping his pitches at all either. But yeah. But there were some of us were going through withdrawals when Kershaw came into closeout Game 7. Where have we seen this before? Does Wilbur Defoe have? Is there a spot? Is he on the bench there? No, it's Gio. Not to pick on the Yankees, but it seemed to me that Cora just managed rings around Aaron Boone.
Oh, he did. Yeah, by far.
I was just stunned how, you're in a situation where you're not comfortable, and let's face it, you get into a playoff situation, it just turns anyone into mush. Look at what happened to Madden and Francona in Game 7 of the 16 World Series. I mean, you win 100 games, that Boone is decent. You can't win 100 games without some sort of good management. And Corey just said, "Oh, I'm making every right decision."
Yeah.
And he did the same against Houston. I mean, I don't think anyone outside of maybe the 13-year-olds who root for the Red Sox thought that the Red Sox would go into Houston and sweep.
Yeah, I know that was a surprise because I mean the Astros were coming off a strong series against the Indians. They were scoring runs. Their pitching was doing a great job. But those last 4 games, the Red Sox, they just flat out outslugged the Astros.
Oh, yeah. Oh, absolutely. Now, you're familiar with J.D. Martinez. He helped Arizona get into the playoffs last year. What do you – yeah, oh, yeah. So what are you seeing with him with Boston?
I'm seeing what he did for Arizona. He is a very good hitter, and I think the one thing that he does that kind of goes under the radar, he is great at taking the ball the other way. He's a great opposite field hitter.
Absolutely. And he will be familiar with the National League, which will make some difference. Buster Olney made the point last night, I think, on Twitter, Chris, that none of those Dodger outfielders have played at Fenway Park.
That's huge because playing at Fenway is not easy. The outfield is big. It's got some corners. The ball can kind of sometimes take a trip bad hop once it caroms off of the monster. So it's gonna be a challenge for them.
Yeah, especially the short right field wall, the way it kind of just goes from 305 to 380 really quick. I
True.
mean, Fenway's a football park
It
that they
is.
play baseball in, and it's the maybe the most famous baseball park along with Wrigley Field, but it really is a football stadium. But
It's huge.
although growing up, you heard the word nooks and crannies described in two different places: Thomas English Muffins and
Fenway
the
Park.
outfield at Fenway Park. And the Dodgers, it won't matter if what the Dodgers eat before the game, but that it will make a huge difference, and they could potentially play 4 games there. But Manny Machado, who has a history with the Boston Red Sox, will be playing. So, and David Price, whatever his postseason bugaboos kind of went. I mean, when you sat there Thursday night to watch Game 5 of the American League Championship Series, did you really think that would be David Price that would get the best of Justin Verlander?
I didn't think so because up until that point, Verlander had been just basically lights out for the Astros during the regular season and also in the playoffs, and then Price had just struggled, but. For this one start, Price was dominant, and I think the one thing that he can carry over into this World Series is using his changeup more often.
What do the Dodgers have to do to win this series?
They got a hit. They're gonna have to match it, and also they're gonna need Kershaw and Buehler to pitch lights out.
I'm impressed with Buehler.
Me too, yeah. He is so good. He has got so much poise.
Yeah. And I think for the Red Sox, they just need to do what they're doing. Obviously, the 108 wins this year was not a fluke.
No.
I think if they weren't underdogs against the Yankees, they certainly were against the Astros, and they survived that one terrible David Price start and thrived off it. They need some more offense from Mookie Betts.
They do, yeah. Him, Bogarts, Devers.
Yeah, I mean, they can do it, but they're not afraid of anything at this point. I'm not sure how much pressure is actually on the Red Sox to win. It's the Dodgers that now have the 30-year, went to the World Series last year and lost. Yeah. It's been 30 years. I mean, it was 30 years this past weekend of the Kirk Gibson game.
Wow, okay.
So, yeah, that makes me feel old. I was a senior in high school when that game happened. And a lot more hair, naturally. So, I honestly think the pressure is on the Dodgers.
I agree because this is their second straight World Series, and if they do lose, it's possible that Kershaw could actually opt out. I wouldn't be surprised.
I'd be stunned if he did, because I'm not sure anyone could pay him more than the Dodgers.
Maybe the Yankees.
Yeah, you just got 25 million people excited there, but they think they're getting Harper and Machado, but who knows? I think Bumgarner is probably maybe a bigger possibility for the Yankees.
That's only if the Giants want to move him. I don't know if the Giants actually want to move him though.
Yeah, I don't think payroll's an issue for the Giants. They got rid of pretty much everybody.
Yeah.
All right. So tell me a little bit more about where you're writing for now. You said you do a podcast and you do a weekly summary. And so talk those folks up for a bit.
Yeah, so at ngscsports.com, I write a weekly column at post on Monday mornings. It covers the previous week of baseball news, so injuries, trades, someone gets moved, someone signs. I cover it, and then as I already said, every Monday night at 8 we do a podcast on talking news. Huh?
Who's we?
Oh, my editor for the site.
Who is?
Oh, he's Ralph Garcia.
Okay, yeah, go ahead and plug him. I mean, let's.
Yeah.
So, how long have you been doing that for?
I've been doing that for about 2 years.
Oh wow! Okay.
Yeah.
And so as we head into the offseason, what storyline intrigues you most? Is it where Harper Machado will go? Is it like the rule changes that are probably going to come to maybe speed up some of these games because they go
It's kind of
so
long.
slow?
Yeah, now the one thing that I'm kind of interested is when the offseason finally does happen, will the Red Sox make Kimbrel the first reliever to actually make over $100 million? I think he will.
Yeah, I mean, he's good,
He is. He's
but
real good.
he's going to cause some livers to fail here in New England.
True.
I just started a pre-play that did yet live yesterday, and we'll do games 3 and 4 on Friday.
Nice.
And Kimbrel had a meltdown for the ages, an absolute meltdown for the ages, such as I believe it was Machado had a grand slam.
Wow.
In the ninth inning, they had a 5-3 lead, and they lost 12-8.
Wow.
And most of that because Kimbrel walked 5, including 4 not on not on purpose. But I pitched him in game 2 because they had the chance to save, and he went and was lights out. So you never know. But I mean, that's the one thing that you hear about with this Red Sox team coming into the year or coming in the playoffs was their bullpen was a huge question mark.
True.
And outside of that one game against the Yankees, it's been a strength.
True, it has. Yeah, it's been dominant.
I think the Red Sox will pay up. That type of talent just doesn't grow very right. Doesn't grow on trees.
No.
The Yankees have Chapman, Aroldis Chapman. You need to have a dominant closer, and the Yankees, as far as I'm concerned, are only going to get better as they mature. This might be the Red Sox best chance to do something because Aaron Judge proved to me to be a good playoff player, and I think year 2 of Stanton, I think he will calm down too.
True.
So
I expected that.
Okay, so anything else that you're looking forward to in the offseason? You'll have lots of stuff on where Harper goes. Do you think the Dodgers make an effort to keep Machado, or what will happen?
I think they might, but I think the Phillies can actually pay him more money. So I wouldn't be surprised if the Phillies get Machado.
I think the Phillies have like an obscene amount of money. It's like $80 million.
I know. It's possible that the Phillies could actually go after both Harper and Machado. I don't see it happening, but they have the money to do it.
I'd be absolutely stunned. But there was one of the Phillies guys came on with Ricky and I a year and a half ago, and was boasting pretty big that they were going to get them both. Like, come on, you're kidding. But the money's there.
It is.
Gabe Kapler did more with that team than I thought he was going to do.
True.
I don't think that they're going to contend next year with what they have now, but he got a lot out of them. I was very impressed with Atlanta, and I'm glad that Snicker got his extension. Your thoughts on Davey Martinez? Please, you don't have to worry about being nice anymore. Go right ahead.
I think he had a rough first year, but I think if ownership gives him the players to remain competitive, I think Martinez can have a better second year, but he does have to get better in terms of making better on-field decisions.
He had a rough year, and you could see from teams that made the playoffs that good teams with first-year managers can succeed. Aaron Boone's bad series notwithstanding, I mean, you have Alex Cora, who never managed in a World Series, and impressing people on the way. So there needs to be, I think, the same thing with Boone. You need to have a bench coach there that can say, wait a minute, you sure you want to make that move? True. I know that Boone didn't have a good one in New York, and I think you need to have an old sage hand. I mean, Chris Spire was great for Dusty Baker in that way. Not that Dusty hadn't been there, done that, and had the T-shirts to prove it. But you need to have someone with experience as your bench coach, and I think that's one of the things that hurt the Nats.
True.
All right, I'll get your World Series prediction before we go, but you also want to talk about gaming.
Yeah.
What type of games do you play? I know you're not a streamer, and that's okay.
Yeah.
What does Chris do to relax?
I play sports games. I've been playing the show. I play action games. I play shooters, RPGs. Right now, I'm playing Assassin's Creed Odyssey. I'm also playing Spider-Man. I love playing Spider-Man. So, and then this Friday, I plan to pick up Red Dead Redemption 2. So that's
Cool.
what I'm doing right now.
What do you do for sports gaming?
Sports, I do baseball.
So the show?
The show, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Now, Out of the Park is now $9 through the World Series.
Cool.
So if we've played that before, that's available on Steam. And my buddy Al, Red Sox fan, who was on last week, did a demonstration on that. And don't tell my wife, but I bought it because the 17 baseball games I have now are not enough. And every year I go through with Out of the Park. I'm not buying this again because I don't play it enough. And I looked at my Steam history, and I have 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, and now 19.
Wow.
And I say to myself every year, and I actually was in a here's your small world story of the day. I was in a league, I think, for several years, an online league. And one of the people I was in the league, 2 leagues with, one of them was Sean McIndoe, who is better known to anyone who reads The Athletic or is a hockey fan as Down Goes Brown.
True.
And he's absolutely hilarious. So I knew Sean before Sean was famous, when he was a software engineer up in Ottawa, is what he was. And he would write these ghost columns pretending to be Bill. He did a good Bill Simmons imitation. And so, the talent was there. And so, yes, that's one of my claims to fame is that I got my ass kicked in an OTP league by Sean McIndoe and someone else who was a nuclear engineer and all that. But yeah, that was kind of cool. All right. So before I ask you about your World Series prediction, what do you, now that you've written for a couple of years and you've actually, made the jump from I've never written before to I have a weekly column.
Yeah.
What excites you most about it?
I just like telling stories about baseball. I mean, just like covering news. I always try to put like my own opinion in it, and I just enjoy just like talking about baseball. It's my favorite sport, so I just enjoy reading about baseball, watching it, and then also just writing it.
See, people, there are people under 50 who like baseball. I'm not 50 for, oh crap, I looked at the calendar. A couple more years anyway, but Chris is a few years younger than I am, like considerably younger than I am. So it's not everyone. People do love and follow that are under 50, and they're not on the wrong side of 45 either. All right, so I'll give you your prediction.
I got Sox in 6.
Yeah, this is the 6th time I've seen the Sox in the World Series, and the last 3 I haven't been disappointed. I gotta say, I wasn't disappointed at 04.
Yeah.
07, we all, if you have multiple children, we all love our children equally, but some more than others. And 07 was just, okay, we won again. Yeah. But then 13, seeing it win at Fenway was just, I was writing for a company that no longer exists. So I got to cover that.
Oh, nice.
And they still owe me money. but I got to cover that World Series, all those playoffs for a website that is no longer there, and with the delay in the high definition television, I had the tweet deck on the computer, and the game on the television, and so I knew about 10 seconds before the last pitch that the game was over and it won.
Oh, cool!
So I got to jump around on the 2004 World Series. True story. My wife's come. My wife has worked second shift for a long, long time, and I'm surprised my cat hasn't tried to kill me in this because she doesn't like it. And again, I can't relate. My wife was coming home from work at 11:30, 11:35, just about the time of the bottom of the ninth of Game 4.
Oh,
hey,
wow.
Judo Joker, and so I'm jumping up and down like this, and hooting and hollering, and Sarah thought I was having a heart attack.
Yeah.
It's like, no, the Red Sox just won the World Series. So yeah, so I guess I'll say 6 Sox and 6, which is the complete homer pick. But the Dodgers have so much talent.
They do.
And the pre-play that I'm doing for here, the series is tied at 1. The Red Sox came back and won Game 2. Okay. I had a Wood pitch Game 1 and Kershaw pitch Game 2. You surprised you're going with Kershaw on 2 days rest in Game 1?
Yeah, but I think the reason is have Kershaw go game 1, have him pitch Game 4, and then if there is a Game 7, go with them race. So
absolutely,
it makes sense.
So I went with Alex Wood in Game 1 and Kershaw in Game 2.
Okay.
And I went with Sale and Price in 1 and Sale in 1 and Price in 2.
Yeah.
And I'm probably going to have Evaldi and Porcello go 3 and 4.
Yeah.
And we'll debate who I'm going to pitch for the Dodgers. But when the computer played it out, I'm using Action PC Baseball. They had the playoff teams on sale for $7, so you got all 10 playoff teams for that game. Nice. The Dodgers actually 1 and 5.
Wow.
So you never know. You never know. So, all right. So, Chris, where can people find your friends of yours who are like Judo, who read you on District on Deck? How can they follow you on social media and all that?
They can find me on Twitter at AECanada12. That is, again, at AECanada12. And you can also find me on ngscsports.com for my weekly column every Monday.
Hi, Ken Castro. How are you? All right. Well, thanks so much for being with me. And maybe we'll do this again at some point. And so have fun. And thanks again.
No problem. Thank you again for having me on the show tonight.
All right. And Ken says hi to you.
Hi, Ken.
All right. That was Chris Lacey, and I'm Ron Juckett. And next week we should have, I believe we're going to have Ricky Keeler to talk about the World Series. And the week after, my worlds will intersect again. It's a good friend of mine from college, Tony Whitehill, will be on to talk about, I don't know if that show will be Monday night or not, because he is the morning man for the local station in St. Johnsbury, Vermont. So Monday at 8 may not be the right time to do that, or Monday night won't be the right time to do that. But we're going to talk about his career, Tony's career, and Vermont high school football, because that season is ending up here. They don't play up here till Thanksgiving.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, no, playoffs start this week.
Oh, nice.
So, all right. Thanks again, Chris.
No problem. Have a good night.
You too. Have a good night, folks.